are now watching what?
Boxing!
Let's get it. Shakur Stevenson, man. Let's talk Shakur Stevenson real quick. After that masterclass boxing clinic he put on Saturday night against Oscar Valdez, I think it's pretty safe to say that, man, right now Shakur Stevenson has to be one of the best boxers that's active right now, and I'm not just talking about in his division. I'm talking about overall. The kid he's a very special talent, and while he is a special talent, there are a few things that I want them to work on with him, just a few, and one of those things is sometimes, people might want to see him sit in a pocket a little more, but keep his style of fighting going because it's been working for him. But a lot of people want to see him kind of plant his feet a little bit more and show a little bit more aggression towards his opponent. He's definitely a dog in his own sense, and he definitely has aggression. But it's something that it's hard to really explain. Like, he's aggressive, but it's like he's not the aggressive that I don't want him to be overly aggressive. I just want to see a little bit more. That's really it with it. But he does have aggression, and he has some fight in him. And I like to see him move his head a little bit more off the line. And I think those are the only two things that I got against Shakur Stevens. And then, like, when he pulls straight back. I don't really like when he does that. He pulls straight back a lot, man, and that could kind of throw him off eventually. And a lot of people are saying, well, he got hit a lot against Oscar Valdez. Well, the reason why Shakur Stevenson got hit a lot against Oscar Valdez is because, well, simple. Even though he put on the clinic against Oscar Valdez, he still stepped up in competition. Oscar Valdez is a very good fighter, and he is the best person that Shakur Stevenson has faced yet. So while Shakur is better than him in the skill department, that doesn't mean Oscar Valdez was a slouch, and doesn't mean he's not a good fighter. It's just levels to it, and Shakur just happens to be levels above him. But Oscar Valdez was skilled enough to touch Shakur quite a bit in this fight. And you see his eye, Shakur's left eye showed that. I don't think I ever seen Shakur's eye like that. So that's telling you Oscar Valdez is definitely a force to be reckoned with, but he just didn't have it for Shakur Stevenson. That's really all it is. And the kid's defense is still superb, better than most. Definitely the best defense at 130, hands down. The thing with Shakur Stevenson, what makes him different is his defense is his fucking offense, man. Sometimes a fighter will have all offense, or they're mostly so defensively responsible where they don't really throw shit, they run, and that would be the equivalent of a boxer running around, getting, not throwing many punches and just running the whole fight. Shakur Stevenson is when I mean his defense is his offense, where he doesn't even have to chase you around. When you come into him, he's gonna have something ready for you every time, and he showed that against Oscar Valdez. Every time Oscar try to go to the body, Shakur will break him and hit him. Boom, he'll hit him. He'll hit him with a left hook, or he'll every time Oscar go downstairs, Shakur tap him upstairs. And a lot of people say, why was he putting his lead hand out there a lot? That's because I think he was trying to kind of block Oscar Valdez's vision, which is very smart. But I guess, you're not supposed to really keep the probe out there too long. But that's why he had a point taken away from him. But that's exactly that's a tactic. It's a tactic. And a lot of people was mad at Shakur Stevenson for doing that, especially a lot of the Mexican fan base. But here's the thing with that. Even though Shakur was probing a little bit too much, or they say it was too much, but Shakur did what he had to do. He was keeping the probe out there too long. It's Oscar Valdez's job to move his fucking head out the way, right? Excuse my language. I'm trying not to do this. I'm trying to go a different way. I'm trying not to curse really as much anymore on this channel, man. Really not. But it's Oscar Valdez's job to move his head from Shakur's glove, or knock Shakur's hand out the way, not complain to the ref. You're supposed to be, it's a fight. You don't like something Shakur doing, move your head. Move your head out the way. I mean, I saw a head moving from Oscar. Why wasn't he moving his head? Was Shakur that strong where he was able to really, hold his head in position? You know what I mean? But his defense, man, is definitely his offense. But the thing about Shakur is when he wants to press you, he can press you. When he feels like that he can press you and he feels like you got nothing for him, he's gonna press you. He can press you. And sometimes it's deceiving in a way. That's why I go back to where I wish he would turn it up a little bit. Because like it looked like he's going in there for the kill, and then he'll like, it's times in that Oscar Valdez fight, I seen Shakur Stevenson pause. It was a few times like he had Oscar where it looked like he could have straight flushed him, hit him with an uppercut, knocked him out. But he paused, he pulled back. I don't know why. There's a few times he did that. And there was one time in that fight, though, that I saw him stop. It was like the second, third round. He paused and talked to the judge, the ref, turned his head and looked at the ref. And I'm like, damn, Shakur, what are you doing? And Oscar could have capitalized on that, man, and he didn't. He could have ended up knocking Shakur Stevenson out. But he didn't. It was almost like one of those, a Floyd Victor Ortiz moment almost. It looked just like that could have happened, but Oscar Valdez, he didn't do it. Shakur and his power, people starting to talk about his power. Well, you didn't see Oscar Valdez just all the time. He wasn't just rushing in there, was he? And then whenever he was very cautious when he did it. Look at Oscar Valdez's face at the end of that fight. Oscar Valdez was fighting back. He wasn't standing there like Yodine Sue guys getting punched on. He was fighting back the whole fight. Look at Oscar Valdez's eye. Look at the gash under his eye. It wasn't from a butt. It was from Shakur Stevenson's hands. So, and when you look at his power, and compare Devin Haney to when he fought Jojo Diaz. Devin Haney hardly had a scratch on his face. Jojo Diaz rarely looked like he was in a fight. You did see a little lump, like his left eye on Jojo was a little swollen. But look at what Shakur Stevenson did to Oscar Valdez's face, dude. His power is coming. It's not all the way flourished yet, I would say, because of maybe the weight drain. But when he get to 135, I'm telling you, watch what I tell you when he get to 135. You're going to see something, man. He going to start, the knockouts are going to start coming more with Shakur when he hit 135. And as he moves up in competition, even though he's an excellent defensive fighter, he will get hit more and more. And Oscar Valdez's fight proved that. Oscar Valdez has power. He touched Shakur a few times with some straight rights and all body shots. Shakur took all of that pretty well. He took the head shots well, and he kept coming. Didn't see him visibly rattled or anything. He kept coming. So this was the first real chin test that Shakur Stevenson has faced with Oscar Valdez. He didn't face it with Nakatila. And I'm not sure who's a bigger puncher, Nakatila or Oscar Valdez, but Shakur was much more cautious in the Nakatila fight than he was in this Oscar Valdez fight. And he still managed to get hit by Oscar Valdez, and he took it well. So far, Shakur Stevenson passes the chin test. Depending on how long his career goes, how long he depends on staying in the sport. I mean, what is he, 23, 24 years old? So he got a good 10 years, man. Good 10, 11 years left. And he's already at, how many fights is he at? 17, 16 fights? So if he got another 10, 11 years in the sport, God bless his soul, his life, he's gonna have quite a bit of fights under his record, man. He should at least have about by the end of his career a good 30 something fights around the same as Terrence Crawford. About 30, 30 going into 40 fights, man. If he fights 3 times a year, you do the math on that. Fights 3 times a year, maybe 4 times. I don't think he's gonna fight 4 a year because it's very rare that fighters fight 4 times a year anymore. I'd say he'll max out at maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and he's going to get hit. He's going to get tested by some power punches. As he moves up, he probably going to max out at maybe welterweight, and he's going to probably end up facing some heavy punches up there. See, he's the same age as Jaron Ennis. They're all in the same age. Jaron Ennis is already at welterweight, and I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to touch on that too next video. So stay tuned for that one. But anyway, Shakur is an excellent talent. Look out for him. I think he's going to do very well. I think he's already a two division champion. I see him being a champ in every division. I think Shakur, by the end of his career, they're setting him up like that. I think he's going to end up being a champion at 130, 135. Oh, he was a champion at 126, 130. I think he's going to be a champ 135, 140. I think he's going to make it to 147, and he's going to end up being a 5-division champion, man. So we're looking at greatness in the making in Shakur Stevenson. And one other thing I want to add about Shakur, what makes him kind of extra, special is, you notice he doesn't have a nickname. It's just Shakur Stevenson. You know how everybody have a nickname, Errol the Truth, Spence, who else? Jerron Boots Ennis or Erickson the Hammer Lubin. Is just Shakur Stevenson. But the Boots is different. Boots don't really, Boots is a little different because his is like a nickname from, a nickname. It is not like linked to nothing boxing. It's not like the Hammer or the Truth. So it's different with him. And then like Canelo, it's just Canelo. Canelo's not his name. His name is Saul. And Canelo means red in Spanish, so that's why. I mean, not red. Sorry, cinnamon. Canelo means cinnamon, so that's why they call him Canelo. So that's a difference because his hair is like he's red hair, right? So Shakur Stevenson, shout out to him, man. He's a special talent, man. I'm so happy for the young brother. I want to see him do well, and he will. This is Rebel Life Boxing, and I'm out. Peace.